Buenos dias and welcome to another 5-minute life hack. Today we're going to be talking about passion and energy. So let's dive right in. Um, One question I like to ask once in a while is, how do you wake up in the morning? And someone put this question to me and I really, really liked it. Do you wake up energized and excited about the day? Or do you wake up just existing through the day? And I have both, right? I think all of us have both. Question is, how can I get more of those energized, excited days and less of those days when I wake up and I'm just going through the motions, right? So, a couple years back for Christmas, I had the idea to get some inspirational shirts for my kids, for everybody in the family. Um, and so here's some that I got. My daughter was 13 at the time. Probably the last year she would have worn such a shirt, but she and I used to joke all the time. So I custom made her a shirt that said "No boys, just sports," and then I had my phone number on it if they had to call me for the boys. Or just ask my dad or something like that. So it was probably the last year she would have worn it, but it was fun for us to kind of connect on that level. Um, Next one, I got my son a shirt that said "Work harder, 24/7, 365," and he was really into working out and just going after it and hustling, and so it was kind of a fun shirt to get for him. My wife's will tell you lots about my wife. She said, "Love life and hike more," and that was her t-shirt, and it just fit her perfectly. She was very into hiking, just about doing what she loves in life, and I thought that fit pretty well. And I got myself a sweatshirt as well, and mine said "No alarm clock needed, my passion wakes me up." And I really like that. Every time I put on that sweatshirt, I think, how am I waking up? Am I waking up energized, excited, passionate for the day, or am I just blah? And so this was a goal of mine, not that I'm there at all, but something that I wanted to strive for. So here's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. She's a phenomenal individual. She's overcome a lot of different things. One thing she said was, "Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you." I love that quote. Putting passion and energy to be synonymous. I think that is completely true in my life. I don't know if it rings true for you, but it definitely does for me. Um, One thing we've talked about a lot here is connecting. My wife and I talk about being better communicators and asking better questions. So a typical question that people might ask when you meet them for the first time, especially if you're an adult: "What do you do?" And then you can tell them what you do, which is informative, but not very um, connecting, or it doesn't really go much deeper than, the basic level. It's kind of like asking, "Where are you from? How many kids do you have? Do you have a dog?" Some of those things. And eventually you hope to connect on one of those things, is kind of the idea of those questions, I think. But the new question I started trying to ask is, what really are you passionate about? What excites you when it wakes you up in the morning? And it's fascinating to ask that question, because some people don't hesitate at all. And they say, "Oh, I love model airplanes. I build them, I fly them. That's what I do. And it's so fun." And they can go on for an hour and they just light up and you could see it. And it's super fun. Others, I asked a gentleman one time, "Yeah, what really excites you? Like, what gets you going?" And he went blank. He had no idea. You could tell he'd never been asked that question before. And to be honest, it looked as though he hadn't thought about that question for years. And I don't think that's atypical. And so I hope, even by asking the question to that person, they drove home that day and were thinking, "Man, what does excite me? What what am I passionate about?" Because I think that's critical to making sure we have energy and we're excited in our lives. And to be honest, it's a question I had to ask myself about 6 or 7 years ago. I woke up, I realized I wasn't sure what my passion was. I was going through the motions. My life was great. I was happy, you know, but I didn't really know what drove me and what kind of took me to that next level. And so I had to do a lot of deep work and think through that a lot. And I'm still kind of working through that, but I'm a lot more clear on that, as of the last 4 or 5 years than I was before. So anyway, amazing the difference. Ask that question, watch how it changes. It's fascinating. It's really fun to connect at a different level with even strangers. So last thing, the challenge for this week is to nurture your passion somehow this week. That could be walking in nature. That could be singing in the shower. I'm not a singer, or in the car, but many of you probably are. I love people with that skill. It might be dancing. I've got a funny story about dancing. So I was working for a financial firm in a high-rise tower in downtown Salt Lake City. I was on the first floor, and so we had big glass panels so I could see everything on the street. We had these shades that I could see out, but people couldn't see in. And so I'm there working away, and all of a sudden I look up, and there's this probably 21-year-old woman who was just dancing. She had her earbuds on. She was waiting for the bus, and she's just jamming and rocking out and dancing all over the place, doing things that my body can't move that way. But it was kind of fun to watch her. After about 30 seconds of watching her, I called my colleague over. I said, "Hey, Mike, come in the room. You got to check this out." And so we were watching for a second, just laughing, like it just couldn't help but put a smile on her face. I lifted up the blinds so she could see that we were watching, and she kind of turned around as she was dancing and had this moment where she just like almost died of embarrassment. Even though there was 15 people on the street right there she was dancing in front of, she was like embarrassed that we were watching her from inside the office. She put her hands up like this, "No." And then, to her credit, it took her about 3 seconds of this "oh no" embarrassed moment, and she went right back to it. She was dancing and jamming and rocking out. And to me, that was really cool to see. Like, that was the thing that energized her. And she didn't care what other people thought about it. She didn't care if we were watching. She was jamming for her, and it was giving her energy. And to be honest, like, it made us smile. It was infectious, the energy, right? When someone's in their element. So that was kind of fun. Other things that might be your passion might be pets, might be connecting with others on a deeper level, might be sports and fitness. One last note, some of you get to work every day in your passion, which is phenomenal. You're one of the few, and that is so lucky. And I hope we remember how lucky we are to be doing those things. And I certainly know I do. But many of us indulge our passions outside of work, and that's totally fine. I think that's the vast majority of people, that you work and you enjoy what you do. Steve Jobs once said that in a commencement speech. He said, "Love what you do." He didn't say do what you love. He said, "Love what you do." So there's a lot of things in work and in business. Frankly, it might not be your passion, right? But you can love what you're doing. You can love finding improvements. You can love leading other people. You can love lots of parts about it. And it doesn't mean it has to necessarily be your passion. If it is, awesome. You are so lucky. And I am so lucky to be able to do a lot of those things in my day-to-day work. But yeah, just nurture your passion this week. Find a time to do it. So hope that helps. Go find the energy, grab that passion, wake up ready to go. No alarm clock needed. Go inspire someone this week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.